Earlier this year, Tab's production started the marketing run for Zambia's first anime, The Super. Since their first post, this project has been on my radar. As a Zambian, an anime fan, and an anime content creator, there was so much to look forward to. And it finally dropped a few weeks ago. While I wasn't able to see the cinematic release, I watched the YouTube stream a few days later.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
If you're on this video, I'm just assuming you've already watched the Super. If not, the link will be the first thing in the description. But before I get any further, I want to make this explicit. Anything I say here is not meant to harm or insult anyone. I truly appreciate the effort and passion that went into this project, and I hope to see bigger and better things from the cast and crew. From here on out, I'll try to give my honest opinion on the Super. And to get straight to the point, I think the episode was rushed. There are so many choices that I just don't understand because of how they actively hurt the overall quality of the episode. First things first is with the animation. The animation does get good at times, which makes it even weirder when you see just how bad it can get. There are these points where they try to work with these off angles, and the animators seem to have a hard time with it, so they ended up just using a PNG and shaking it up and down on the screen.
This is new. Hey, bud.
Why not remove that angle and work with an angle you're more comfortable animating? Why sacrifice the quality of your overall episode? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm still failing to understand why take those shots when there's proof that you can work better from other angles. Next up is the sound mixing and voice acting. The sound mixing gets really bad at points. There's some points where it just changes the depth of the audio and sounds like your head's been dipped underwater for no reason. It's things like this that make you question if the creators went through the episode. Most of my friends were able to catch how bad the sound mixing was on their first watch. The voice acting is also a mixed bag. The first half of the episode has some pretty bad voice acting, and I can't blame the voice actors. Firstly, because it's the director's duty to ensure that they get the best from the cast, and secondly, because most of the voice acting from this scene isn't done by the voice actors. The breathing and grunting is stock sound effects, which is another weird choice I don't seem to understand. Why not ask your voice actors to send in clips of them grunting and breathing to ensure that you have some kind of consistency?
This is new.
But I will say the voice acting that takes place in the latter half of the episode is actually really good. Legend-san and Malindi's characters, Kira and Mr. Kim, have this conversation that, when you look into it, is kind of boring and cliche, but the actors are just doing so well, you kind of forget that what they're saying is filled with stuff you don't really care about.
Agree.
You've never failed to fuck up kids' lives. I wonder why they have now.
Parents are elites from type A's and type B's.
Who are?
Quick editor's note here, I just wanted to talk about the naming conventions. It's so milquetoast. A, B, C, and D types, hybrids, elites. It's such a missed opportunity. You could have used Zambian names, Lozi, Bemba, Nyanja, Tonga, anything to inject some Zambian identity into this, but instead we get the most plain option. I know this is a common shonen trope, but in other shonen, the jargon is much more memorable. Weirdly enough, using simpler jargon makes it harder for viewers to remember because it's forgettable. It's why people got so invested in Nen, Saiyan levels, and Sharingans. The uniqueness of these names adds a bit of mystery, and hearing them hits much harder than
Type D abilities.
the whole latter half of the episode. I will applaud because it's just much more interesting to look at. The characters don't look like copy pastes of each other. The voice actors are given a chance to shine, and the background is really interesting. There's a lot of environmental storytelling going on here just by the simple evilness of it all. In the grand scheme of things, it's not enough to save the episode. You're still left pretty confused, and I understand it's just the first episode, but so much of the runtime seems to have been wasted. The first few minutes of the episode are just Tetsu and Tatsu breathing. Nothing significant or interesting really happens until the fight. That time should have been used for some introductory dialogue between these brothers, ensuring that the viewer has some kind of idea of what's going on. Either that or have the second part of the episode actually be the first. The dialogue between Kira and Mr. Kim is actually an okay exposition dump that could have built some interest on who red hair and blue hair are, but with the way the episode was structured, it was kind of random. Changing the structure still doesn't change the fact that I have no idea who these characters are. I have no idea what's going on in this world. I have no clue what their powers do, and ultimately I have no reason to care. Well, yes, there are some good things, like the background music was really good. The kind of creepy ambience they went for was interesting as fuck. The end theme was really good. Salvation is an actually good song, link in the description. Even the good voice acting towards the end isn't enough to wash away the bitter taste left in your mouth after the episode. This goes without saying, but things could change, even just by episode 2. And that's exactly why I'm making this video, because things need to change. There are some very huge issues that the creators let slip into the final product, and I hope they are more meticulous in the future, because they are clearly talented. But to say it as lightly as possible, this is kind of sloppy. And to me, that's what the Super will be for the foreseeable future. But enough of the episode. I have one last topic to talk about, which is identity. Because for some reason, I became the black anime police.
And second, every character has to be a black person.
Well, majority, to be honest.
At least the main characters have to be
Black, yeah.
Because we want to represent black people now. Because we can't make art in Africa about another race, especially it being the first Zambian animation. We need to represent black people because we want black fans to dress up as these black characters at black conventions, wear the pajamas with the black characters' faces on them, have the hair for the black people, so that we can have representation within anime.
Look at these characters. They have flowing hair, they have Japanese names, they have lighter skin, and I think the crew needs to look into this, because the African identity is not there. Don't get me wrong, I do understand the cultural significance of being the first anime in Zambia, and I want to thank and congratulate them for being the pioneers. It is way harder than I will ever come to understand, and the impact of this one episode on the industry is incalculable. And even after all this, I still recommend that you watch the Super if you haven't, and I want you all to go show love and support to the cast and crew. I do understand the pressures of being the first anime in Zambia, but I also don't think you should allow it to blind you from ensuring the quality of your product. Thanks for watching, and bye.